I went to see the Rolling Stones a couple nights ago in Cleveland. It was Saturday night. And I've always been aware of the Stones, as everybody has. I've been kind of a fan, definitely more than a casual fan. I love some of their really early stuff, Get Off My Cloud, The Last Time. Quentin Tarantino put a Stones song in his movie Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Out of Time. It just etched into my brain, And I always kind of figured the Beatles are just so much cooler than the Stones, or better. And in a way, like, their albums are definitely more concise. But the Stones are still playing, The Beatles quit in 1970, and it's 2024, and the Stones are still actually playing. I just saw them the other night on the Hackney Diamonds tour. And Hackney Diamonds, I believe, is slang for, like, scumbags done good or something. Like, Hackney is British slang for, like, a dirtbag in the street, and diamonds, like a diamond in the rough or whatever. You guys get it. Anyway, I paid a good bit of money for my ticket, and I was going to try to sneak in. But then my girlfriend, I invited her, and she said, okay, I'll go with you. And so I had to play it straight, you know what I mean? I went down there, got a ticket, was on the floor, and somehow ended up near the stage. But it was a great show. It was so powerful. It was like a surreal, powerful dream, to see these guys. And basically it was Mick, Keith, and Ron Wood. Mick Jagger, Keith Richards, and Ron Wood are the original Stones. Their bass player was with them. He'd been with them, I believe, since 94. And the drummer is fairly new, because the Stones' old-time drummer, original drummer, Charlie Watts, died a few years back. But I have so much respect for that band after seeing them. Let's compare them with a band like Kiss. Like, I love Kiss. But the last 20 years, I don't think Kiss has put out any music. When was their last record? They recently retired, but they toured for 20 years on just their hits, right? And they were younger than the Stones. Now, the Stones are 80 years old. Mick and Keith are 80, and Ron Wood's 77 this year. And anybody I tell about this show, that's all they bring up. They use the term old farts and shit like that, which is so disrespectful when you consider who you're actually talking about. These are guys that were figureheads of the British invasion, right alongside the Beatles. They were rhythm and blues, and kind of brought blues to a whole lot of young American girls, and just really good at what they did. Mick Jagger is one of the greatest frontmen of all time. And my point is, they're doing this tour, but they're not just playing the hits. They are actually flogging a record. They're touring behind a brand new record. So these are 80-year-old guys who just made a record, and they're touring on it. Now, they played a few songs from this record. I think they played 2 or 3, but they also played like 4 or 5 other songs that I had never heard of, and presumably most of the crowd had never heard of. Now, there were some definite hits in there, like the last 5 or 6 songs were packed. But I have so much respect after seeing them, and I just, to stand there, and I ended up being about 15 feet from Mick Jagger, and I just had my eyes on this man the whole time, and I was just like, wow, when's the next time I'm going to be in a room, basically, a big-ass stadium, but this close to this kind of icon, this kind of living history, the things he's seen, hanging out with John Lennon, Altamont. If you guys don't know about Altamont and the Stones, look that up. Just crazy shit. Writing songs like Sympathy for the Devil, just monumental songs. Gimme Shelter, that are known the whole world over, but they aren't exactly pop tunes, you know what I mean? They're like really dark, really brooding, and really intelligent. I was totally blown away at Mick Jagger's energy, at his charisma. And the thing that cracked me up was, I'm sitting there watching him. Like, I wouldn't take my eyes off the man. And people next to me, like, he's the same distance from them as he is from me. And they're watching the screen, they're turning their heads up and watching the screen. And I kept saying, hey guys, he's right fucking there. Why don't you look at him? You will never see that man again. I just loved the show. I mean, I thought it was great. It had such a great energy. Actually, I don't know if it had a great energy. It had a great vibe. The energy was good. It wasn't super high energy. I mean, it's clear these guys are getting older. Keith Richards was screwing up a little bit. They were missing a couple cues. But I kind of liked that. Like, they played Paint It Black, and they pretty much fucked it up. But I really like that. You know, like when I see Modest Mouse or some of these modern day indie bands, like that's what the Stones reminded me of, like a really great, really successful indie band. Like they fucked up like anybody, you know. But the fact that, you know, they're 80 and they're supporting a record was just really integral, and people don't give them that kind of credit. People were kind of obsessed about their age as if that's like why you shouldn't go see them, but I think it's really the reason why maybe you should, and maybe you should ultimately respect that band like I do. After I saw them, I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. My favorite song was probably Miss You, and it's just so groovy. And Mick was kicking it with the, I've been holding on so long, girl, I miss you. You know, he was doing the harmonica. It was phenomenal. And just had that crowd in the palm of his hand, you know. There were 60,000 people there probably. So yeah, go see the Stones. The Hackney Diamonds tour is awesome. I think I'm gonna see them again in Chicago 2 Sundays from now. What would that be? I don't know, whatever date that is. But yeah, I'm a fan now. I mean, I was always a fan, but now I'm a real fan. And I had never seen the Stones before. I'm so glad I got to finally fucking see them. You know, 'cause who knows how long they'll be around. But maybe a couple more years, judging by how well they played. You know, it was totally iconic, and I'm so glad I went. Hackney Diamonds tour, Cleveland Browns Stadium, June 15th, 2024.